Hey guys, welcome to this tutorial. My name's Attempted. Today I'm going to be going over part 4 in the Project FPS tutorial series. Now in the last part we set up the pose animations for our character and all the weapons that he has. So as you can see here we have the primary, and that will spawn in and he'll be holding it. Then also we set up the secondary, and we did that for all of his weapons. So if you haven't already, go ahead and check out part 2. But apart from that, we're going to get straight on into it. So the first thing I'm going to do is over here, move this across, scroll along here and choose text editor. Then we need a new script, so over here I'm going to click the plus to make a new script. Then I'm going to call this change.py. Any name will do, but I'm just going to call it change so I know what it's for. Then up the top here I'm just going to type in import BGE, and then cont is equal to bge.logic get current controller, and own is equal to cont.owner. This top part here you're going to have to put into all of your scripts at the start, so it's sort of worth memorizing. But before we do anything else, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give my armature here a name. So over here under the object settings I'm going to call this player reg instead of armature 001. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to select my gun spawn here, and I'm going to add a Python controller. In here I'm going to choose change, and then what I'm going to do is add an always sensor, set it to true, and then join this together. Setting it to true just makes sure that this is refreshing the whole time. Okay, so minimize both of those. Then for my script I'm going to import in these three properties. So to do that I'm just going to type in equipped. This can be any name, but I'm just going to call it equipped to stop any confusion, and then own equipped. Okay, as you'll notice here we typed in own, so now we can just do own and then the property, which is right here. Otherwise you'd have to type in cont.owner and then the property in there. Okay, so that is property equipped done. Next one is target, so own target, there we go. You have to make sure you spell this right here exactly the same as it is down here. Now we have one more, and that is the timer, so timer is equal to own timer. And then what we're going to do is set up the first line. So if equipped is not equal to target, and then we'll do a colon, and then we'll press enter to go to the next line. And basically what this is doing is saying that if this property equipped is not equal to target, the property we want, and then we need to set another property to true. So over here I'm going to add another property, and it's just going to be called change. I'm going to set a boolean here, and then I'm going to select this I here to set it to true. Now what I'm going to do here is to change boolean values, what we also have to do is import in the scene. So up the top here we're going to add scene bge.logic.get current scene. There we go. And opening and closing rounded brackets. Also these here are square brackets. Yeah. Okay, so over here what we're going to do is we're going to import in our property, so change is equal to own change. Then over here in line 13 actually we have to do one more thing, and that is type in self, or you can type in something else, anything that represents the gun spawn itself, and then is equal to scene.objects and then own.name. What this part does is gets the name of the controller, so basically gun spawn, and it finds that out of the scene objects list. Now the reason we have to do that is for the next line here. So I'm going to type in self, which we've just assigned to here, and then I'm going to do a square bracket, quotation mark, and the property we want to change. So in here what I'm going to do is type in change, So self change, then a closing quotation mark, closing square bracket, then I'm going to press space is equal to space, and in here we're going to type in the new value. So we want to set it to true. Also, what we want to do up here, just to double check, although we already have it sorted out here, is we want to do if equipped is not equal to target and change is equal to false. Now the reason we use 2 is to check a value, and 1 equals sign is to assign it. So here we're checking whether it's false, and here we're assigning it to true. What I might also do is over here add another property just in case. So change is equal to 0, and then making sure that change is equal to, oh, not 0, we want to be change is equal to false. So type in false here with a capital F, and then we're going to join that up to all of these. Now because we've done it with the logic brick, I don't think we'll need it for this right here. So what I'm going to do is minimize that, push it up, and that should be all sorted out. So actually we don't need this anymore. Then the next thing we want to do is press enter, enter again, press delete 4 times to get rid of the increment, and then type in if change is equal to true, and what do we want to check next? We want to check whether the timer is less than and the maximum value. So currently our animations, if we check them right here, they are 20 frames long. So we need a timer to go from 0 to 20, and then we need another animation to go from 20 to 0 to pick up the second weapon. So in total that will be 40. So what we have to do here is if change is equal to true and timer is less than 40, then we'll do a colon, and in here we can type in own, and then a square bracket, quotation mark, timer, quotation mark, square bracket, and then plus is equal to 1. So now it's going to be adding 1 to our timer constantly if change is equal to true and the timer is less than 40. So this basically just runs the timer, which is what we want. So now we can press enter, go to the next line, and enter again, and now we need some animations to play. So with our player rig selected here, we will add an action. In fact, we'll add 5 for each one. So the top one here is going to be M24 and then up. So as in we're picking it up, and this will be M24 change. It will start at frame 20, end at frame 0. It's going to have a priority of 1, and we'll add some blending to it. Then the next one will be M24 down. Then this here will be M24 change, start at frame 0, end at frame 20. Now the reason up is 20 to 0 is if we go from frame 20 to 0, that's picking it up, whereas going from 0 to 20 here, that's putting it down. So we have to do that for each of them. Make sure you set the priority. Yep, although I guess it doesn't really matter. So we'll set that up. Then over here, Glock up, and then the Glock animation. So it starts at frame 20, give it some blending. We'll just leave the priority for now, but do the rest of them. Glock down, choose Glock change, end at frame 20, give it some blending. Then over here, grenade up, or maybe we can shorten that a little bit. We'll just call it Gren up, and then choose grenade change, 20 and 0, some blending. Then we'll add another action, and here Gren down, choose grenade change, and then we'll end at frame 20, give it some blending, and that should be fine. Now we'll add 4 more, so there we go. Then here what we're going to do is choose smoke. So in here I'm just going to type in S and then up, and this is going to start at frame 20, end at frame 0, give it some blending. Then this is going to be S down, that will start, well, we'll choose smoke change first of all, and then this is going to end at frame 20, give it some blending, and then here for the last two we have knife up, and then here we'll choose knife change and start at frame 20, give it some blending as well. Over here, knife down, choose knife change, and that will end at frame 20. Then we'll give that some blending as well. And so now what we want to do is join up all our animations to our gun spawn, so this Python script here can play the right animations. So what I'm going to do is hold down shift and select the gun spawn as well, and then now to this change script, which we will call change, we're going to join in all our actions. So do an up arrow and then move this across like this, so just join all the different actions to it. Okay, like that. Then we'll press down arrow, oh yeah, control and up arrow to go full screen, and control down arrow to just go back to normal view. Okay, so what we're going to do next over here is, oh, we may as well save, and then what we're going to do is scroll out a bit and move this across, and in here we need to import in all our animations. So I'm going to do a hashtag here just to add some information if I was to look at the script later, so I know what parts are which. Here I'm going to type in properties as well, so I know that they're properties, and then in here what I'm going to do is import in the names of all of these. So the first one was m24 up, and that's going to be equal to cont.actuators and then m24 up. Okay, and then we're going to select that, go to edit, copy, and then next line paste, and now we'll change the name. I think it was down for the next one, and then down over here as well. Make sure that the name again over here is exactly the same as the name over here. And then for m24 down, that's looking the same. So next line, paste again, except this time we're going to do Glock up, so we can just type in Glock here, and Glock at the start as well, and then we'll select this, Control C to copy, enter, Control V to paste, down, Glock down, and same for this last one here. So we have those 4 animations imported. Now we'll just do the last few. So Control V to paste, and the next one is grenade up, I think. Nope, gren up, so we shortened it. So gren up is equal to gren up. Again, these names here don't have to be exactly the same as they are here. You could call this one sandwich if you wanted to, or apple. This is just the name that we're assigning it to, and the reason I'm using the same one as I'm using here is just to avoid confusion later on. Then I'm going to replace the up with down for both, and then we'll do the smoke grenades, so Control V to paste, and what are we going to do now? We're going to do S up, so delete gren, put S on both of those. Oh. Then next line, paste, and the next one is actually S down, so S down, and then over here S down. So if you have capitals in this name, you have to have capitals over here as well. Okay, so knife up and knife down, knife up. Again, probably should have copy and pasted that, but oh well. And then knife down is equal to cont.actuators and knife down. Okay, so that is all our animations imported into the script. Now what we're going to do is set up the down animations. So if oh, one more thing we have to do. back here, if target is not equal to thing, it's going to set change to true. We also want to set change back to false though if it is equal to. So what I'm going to do here is underneath I'm going to type in E and then L and then if. So basically it's else if without the SE that would otherwise be there. And then we'll do a space else if equipped is equal to target, again 2 equal signs because we're checking a value, then a colon, and underneath we will set this back to false. So in here self change is equal to false. Okay, so this is almost setting change property. Okay, over here this is the timer, and now we'll get started on our putting down animations. So if equipped is equal to 1, as in we have weapon 1 equipped, and change is equal to true, and timer is equal to 0, then we'll do a colon, enter, and in here we want to activate the animation, so M24 down. So in here, CONT dot activate, then a round bracket and the name, so M24 down right here, M24 down, then a closing round bracket, then we'll do enter, press delete 4 times to go to the start, and then do the next one. So to save me some time, I'm going to copy it and paste it in. We have to do this 5 times, so 3, 4, 5. Okay, so this one over here is going to be Glock down, so I'll replace that with Glock. The next one will be Gren, so Gren. Then this one will just be S for smoke, and the last one will be knife. Now if there are any naming problems or spelling mistakes, they should pop up in this console here when we run the game, but again we'll have to finish writing the script before we can run it. So once we've activated the putting down animations, what we want to do is press enter, enter again, go back to the start here, and what do we want to do next? We want to we want to spawn in the new weapon. So to do that, we're going to type in spawn in new weapon, and then over here we're going to type if equipped is, just realized my mistake. Over here equipped actually has to be 2 for this one, 3 for this one, 4 and 5 for the last one. So if equipped is equal to 1, and change is equal to true, and timer is equal to, and then however long that animation takes to finish. So for us, if we select the rig here, it takes 20 frames. Colon at the end, very important. And now we're going to spawn in our object. So now what we want to do, instead of spawning actually, we want to end old weapon. So just type that in there, and then if you notice a couple parts back on each weapon here we added a message sensor, so we can remove the parent and we can add the object. So what we're going to do is select our gun spawn here, and then if equipped is equal to 1, change is equal to true, we want to end own dot send message, and then a round bracket, and in here everything for a message has to be a string, so we'll type in a quotation mark, can be any type, whatever you want, and then in here we're going to type in end M24 closing quotation mark, and in here you'll notice that this has to be spelled exactly the same as this right here. So if that's all you want to send, then we can just do a closing mark, although otherwise what we could do is delete that and then do a comma. The next part here is the body. We don't have a body to send, so just 2 quotation marks, another comma, and then this next part is who we're sending it to. So in here I'm going to do a quotation mark, and then I'm going to send it to the object M24 as it's said right here, and also it says here. So I'm going to type in M24 exactly as it's spelled here, then closing quotation mark and closing round bracket. So now we have to do this for each weapon. So again, lots of copy and pasting, which is great fun. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and this one here, when equipped is equal to 2, and we want to check the Glock here, and this is just end Glock, so change the message to end Glock, and we want to send it to the object Glock. And there we go. Over here, this one's going to be sending to the object grenade. If you want to double check, we can just select grenade, and that's what it's called. The message for it is end grenade. So in here, grenade, then the smoke grenade is next. So making sure this is set to 3, so each different number. This one here will be 4, and instead of M24 we're going to be sending it to smoke. So just type in smoke here. The message is end smoke, so I'm going to delete all of this and end smoke. Okay, and then what we're going to do, this last one here, is going to be equipped is equal to 5, and we want to be ending the knife. So we'll send the message to the object knife, and we want to send the message end knife. Alright, so all the messages done for ending the old weapon. Now we can go ahead and spawn in the new weapon. So new line here, and spawn in new weapon. Okay, so if target this time instead of equipped is equal to 1, since we've ended the object and we've played the down animation, so we no longer need equipped. So if target is equal to 1 and change is equal to true and timer is equal to 20, then a quotation mark, or not quotation mark, a colon, and enter. And then in here we're going to spawn in our new object. So we're going to type in scene dot add, and then a capital O for object, and then what else are we going to do? We're going to type in a round bracket, and then the name of the object that we want to spawn in. So if target is equal to 1, we want to spawn in M24. So quotation mark, M24, quotation mark, and a closing round bracket. So it's going to add that. Actually, in here, well, I'll just get rid of that. We didn't quite finish. So M24, closing quotation mark, then a comma, and the next part is where we want to spawn it. So another quotation mark, and actually we don't need to have another quotation mark. We can just type in own, since we're spawning it at the gun spawn, then another comma, and in here is how long we want the object to stay in there for. We're going to set the time here to 0, as we want the guns to stay continuously in the scene until we send them a message up here to end the object. So just 0, which is unlimited, and then we'll do a closing round bracket. Okay, so next line over here, select all of this, Control C to copy, Control V to paste. Oh, and I just did something weird, so we'll try that one again. Control C to copy, Control V to paste. Alright, so we'll do that a couple more times. So 1, 2, 3. When target is equal to 2, when target is equal to 3, and when target is equal to 4 and 5. Now what we want to do is spawn in the object Glock. There we go. And in here we want to spawn in grenade, if I can spell it properly. And over here, spawn in smoke. And the last one, we want to spawn in knife. There we go. And I think that should be it. Also, what we can do at the same time is we want to play the up animation. So the character, or our player here is picking up the gun. So underneath here, what we can do is press enter, and then we want to activate the new animation. However, as I've just noticed, we haven't actually turned these animations off. So we told them to activate, but we didn't tell them to deactivate. So what we have to do here is under the end object, we need to tell the animations to deactivate. So deactivates animations. We'll also put that in here so we know what it's doing. So if equipped is equal to 1, we want to type in cont.deactivate, and then what one was it? M24 down. So we want to deactivate that animation, then a closing round bracket, move over to this next line here, cont.deactivate, and then Glock down, closing round bracket, then over here, next one, cont.deactivate, round bracket, and here we want Gren down, so we want to deactivate that, Gren down, and the next one over here, cont.deactivate, and we'll turn off S down, and then the last one here, we'll be turning off the down animation for the knife. So knife down. Okay, so that is all of those done. So the next thing we want to do is in here activate our animations. So I'm going to type in cont.activate and then a round bracket, and we want to activate M24 up. So this right here. So scroll down, cont.activate M24 up, then a closing round bracket, and over here, next line, cont.activate, and then round bracket, and now we want to activate Glock up, closing round bracket, and I guess we'll copy and paste this to make it a bit faster. So paste that in under all of those. Okay, so Glock up for the second one. The third one will be grenade, or just Gren for short. This one here will be S for smoke, and the last one here will be knife for, well, for knife, obviously. So we spawned in our new weapons, and we started the up animations as well. Okay, so there's only one more thing we need to do here, and that is resetting all the properties. So I'm going to press enter, enter again, and then just type in reset the properties, or just reset properties. Enter, and then the next line, and in here we're going to type in if timer is equal to 40, so as in it's finished playing both animations, and also we need change to still be true, so and change is equal to true, and I think that should be the only criteria we need so far. So if time is equal to 40 and change is still equal to true, we're going to add a colon, and then we'll press enter. So as well as resetting properties, we also have to deactivate animations. So top line here will deactivate M24 up, so cont.deactivate and then M24 up, and then the next line cont.deactivate Glock up. Next line, I guess we'll copy and paste again. Okay, and then last two. So this one is grenade up, so Gren. And the last one, instead of Gren, is S, just for smoke. And then knife. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is reset the timer here back to 0. So to do that, like we have with the timer up here, we need to type in own timer and then minus what's equal to 40. Otherwise, if that just seems a little weird, you might just want to type in self instead of own, then you don't have to minus anything, and it's just equal to 40. So, actually not equal to 40, equal to 0. Also, what we have to do now though is assign the property equipped to whatever we have as our target. So to do that, in the end here, I'm going to type in own equipped and then a closing quotation mark and closing square bracket, and then I'm going to do is equal to and then own, and in here target. So right here I'm assigning equipped to target, so whatever number target is, equipped will be assigned to that after all of this stuff has happened. So now onto the testing. We'll go back to layer 1, select our gun spawn, and we'll add in our script, which we already have, so that should be fine. Now if we set equipped here to 1 and target to 2 and press P, there we go, and it's done a down animation again. So what we might do is, instead of assigning it to 0, we might actually minus 40 like we had before. So type in own instead of self, and then press P, give that a go, and there we go. I think we have number 2 equipped. Cool. Except our timer is stuck on 40. So, whoops, that's because we've minus nothing from it. So, minus 40. So, to fix this problem, since it's only one frame, we'll just change it to minus 41. And now if we press P, the timer is set back to 0, and we have number 2 equipped. So on the keyboard, well, over here, you'll notice we've set up 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, so we should be able to switch targets. So let's give that a go. So we have 2 equipped currently. Press 1, and number 1 should be equipped, but something weird was happening there. Okay, and we're getting some weird animation glitches, basically where they're not playing. And so I had this original problem when I was making the game itself. So I think the problem was the spawning in the objects, but at the same time activating the animation. So what I might do is activate the animations separately. So over here, activate animations, and then in here what we'll do is pretty much just copy and paste this, except in here what we're going to do is delete in the spawning. So just get rid of that line, get rid of that, this one here, and then this one here. Also, what we're going to do is delete the animations under the spawning. So all of these we can get rid of. Cool. And then what we're going to do here is, instead of just activating them on frame 20, we're going to activate them all the way during frame 20 and frame 40. So if timer is greater than 20 and timer is less than 40, we want to constantly activate M24 up. This will just sort of double check that the animation is playing. Then also over here, if timer is greater than 20 and timer is less than 40, do the same thing. I might just copy this line and then select this here, paste it over top. Same for the other two. And now that should work. What we can also do is pull up our system console and see if there are any problems with the spelling of anything. If there are, it will pop up here and it will tell you which line the problem is on. So now here we'll press P, there we go, switch to 1, that works fine, that works fine. Grenades work fine, except that grenade doesn't end. And our grenade here has end, grenade, and oh, this is set to add object, so make sure that's on end. There we go, so that should be that problem sorted. Back over here, and we'll give it another try. So 1 for main weapon, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so the problem here is that the arms are still set to static, so set them to no collision. Okay, so I think that should be about it. So I'm going to press numpad 0, Press P, and we have our first weapon. Looks like there's a weird glitch with the turning. If we get one angle, the hands disappear. Anyway, apart from that, it's working. So I'm not sure what that strange angle is doing. But we can pick up all our different weapons. Cool, so I think that should be about it for this tutorial. Next tutorial, we'll get started on the shooting or reloading and getting that all sorted out for each weapon. But yeah, apart from that, again, hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial. If you did, be sure to leave a like, comment, or share. All of that stuff is greatly appreciated. But again, that's all from me, so hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Have an awesome week, and I'll see you guys in the next video.